Good morning and happy Sunday. Come into our online space of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the lifers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Troop where we go love the world. Today in our Troop online worship, I'm so pleased to welcome Troop member Jonathan Levy. He will offer reflection today on creating joy. Jonathan is a proud graduate of our Troop sermon writing class that is taught by Lynn Sexton and me once a year. Keep your eyes out for an upcoming online, probably, version of our sermon writing class. And thank you, Lynn Sexton, for being our chat box greeter today. And a little bit later in the service, we'll do a communal blessing on our students and families and teachers who have just kicked off the fall school year, most of them doing it online. And I'd like to thank Adriana Gutierrez for creating a really beautiful video to honor our students, families, and our teachers. So as you come into our online space, just a reminder, you'll be muted for most of the service. And this is our one time during the week that the most of us gather in an online community. Please use the chat box throughout the worship service to continue to connect with each other. If you haven't done so already, take a moment and scroll through the thumbnail videos and look at the faces and names of those who have gathered here this morning. Take a deep breath. If there are any tech mishaps that happen, I always just view that as a little moment to breathe in and close my eyes and reconnect with my center. So welcome again as we move across the threshold into our Troop online sacred space.
Good morning. Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our home chalices in a spirit of love, hope, and peace. May the light of our chalice remind us that so much in our lives is interconnected. Joy and sorrow, light and shadow, life and death. Each of us is connected to all that is around us. In that spirit, we light a candle to hold the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. In the chat box, you'll see a website that allows you to look up the tribal land you live upon based on your zip code. Please feel free to put that tribe's name in the chat box. The land under and around Troop was once and is still the home of the Tongva people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into seeking justice and equality for all. The world around us impacts our hearts and our spirits. We light a candle symbolizing our hopes and bearing witness to injustices in the world. Please feel free to type in the chat box the hopes you carry and the injustices we need to witness. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts. May these lights that we kindled illumine our aspirations to live with integrity, comfort any who are feeling despair, inspire us day by day, moment by moment, to build up our beloved community.
Thank you. And let's continue to welcome each other. You can type your hellos into the chat box. You can also greet people more privately with a private message. And again, if you haven't already done so, take these few moments to look through the thumbnail videos, to smile your well wishes, and welcome to those who have gathered here today. Tim greets us all and says, good morning. Happy last Sunday of August. Can you believe that we are here with September 1st just around the corner? It's a little hard for me to believe that. Sky gives warm blessings to all of us earthlings. Karina says, good morning to everyone. Susan wishes us a namaste. Some people are typing in the name of the tribal lands that they are upon. And as always, it is so good to be together today. As we continue to welcome, as we continue to bring our hearts and minds and spirits into this, our sacred space, we turn toward sacred words that bind us together, that remind us of our commitment to our planet and to earth care. Let's say together the words for the promise to our planet, and please unmute yourself as we recite this. As members
of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself.
Thank you. So this year, our students and teachers and families have returned into a school year that looks probably like none other has looked. Whether or not you are someone who goes out to a school building, or for those who are homeschooled or unschooled, you all return to books, to lessons, and to screens. Maybe more screen than you really anticipated or that feels right for you. Some of you return with sighs of relief, with nervous anticipation, excitement to see old friends, and maybe wondering how in the world will this all work. Maybe you're returning to a brand new classroom. If you're a teacher, maybe you're returning to a wonderful cohort of colleagues that you missed over the summer months. But you practice this seasonal ritual of return in such a new way and really holding so much. Well, today we offer a special troop video blessing to you I'd like to thank Adriana Gutierrez for editing the video and putting it all together. In just a minute, we'll see that video with some pictures of our teachers and students. We didn't get pictures from everyone, and if you are a teacher or a student or a family member supporting a teacher or a student, feel free to put those names in the chat box as we watch the video. There'll be some blessings at the end of it, and then at the very end of the video, words of a unison blessing that you'll be invited to say together. And please hold all of these people in your hearts. Now we'll share some unison words of blessing for our students, family, and teachers. These are words adapted from Sophia Lyon-Fahs, a 20th century Unitarian educator. And please unmute yourself as we say these together. This year,
may your learning and teaching be expansive and lead the way into deeper sympathies. Be like sunshine, blessing you with warmth and happiness. Create bonds in a world community where sincere differences beautify the pattern. Open gateways for exploration. Nurture your self-confidence and enrich your feeling of personal worth. May you continue growing with the upward thrust of life.
And may it be so, you all, and really on behalf of Troop, we all just send out our love and care. I know we can't show up in your house to offer like hands-on support, but please know that we are out here with our hands and hearts really in a circle of care and concern and support for you all. We move in just to a time of some little bit of stillness, some prayer and reflection. For those of you for whom it feels comfortable, I always just like to invite you to put a hand on your heart in this moment, to connect with your breath. I don't know about you, but sometimes during the day I catch myself just like not really connected in with my breathing or with my body. And this is just one moment where we can be more intentional about that connection. If it feels right for you to close your eyes, you can gently eyes or soften your gaze. I invite you to take a gentle breath in and slowly exhale. Take a breath in, exhale. As you breathe in again, being mindful of your connection with yourself, your connection with earth, your connection with these lovely people with whom you are connected in beloved community, though we may be physically distant. Breath of life and love. We send our energy out to the families and students and teachers in our midst. We keep in our thoughts people in our lives in this community who may be struggling. Some of them we know are struggling silently, not comfortable asking for help, or maybe not knowing how to reach out. We send our energy out to those citizens and people of the world who have been in the streets, who have been marching for justice, who are pushing elected officials, who are pushing some of us to open our hearts and our eyes to understand systems of ongoing oppression that maybe we haven't understood so clearly before. We ask that in the coming days, the coming weeks, that each of us be gentle with ourselves, that we take time to notice and see others in front of us, whether it's on a screen or whether it's in person at the supermarket. We ask that we be gentle with ourselves when we see ourselves in the mirror, when we sit quietly contemplating this world. We ask for strength and resilience in these times that are calling so much from us. We know that there are those around us in our world who are in need of healing energy, who are in need of prayer. And now is a time where if you want to lift up names for us to carry in our own hearts, perhaps to light a candle for in the days to come, we ask that you put those names in the chat box. We hold in our hearts Andres, Case's father, Al, We send our healing energy and love to Lonnie, to our dear Richard Maison, who is still in skilled nursing. Diane Morgan writes in Bill, brother-in-law of Cairo, may you rest in peace. Paula Trubisky's God Kids, Sintayehu, Pooja, and Makeda. And I am sorry for my pronunciation there, but we send our love out, Paula. And Susan's son, Nick, granddaughters, Sid and Stella. Karina asks us to hold her brother in our hearts. Rachel asks that we hold her sister Danielle and her children, Alia, Talia, Braden, and Lila, in our hearts and our prayers. As we kind of think of those names, and the names just feel like they're settling around my shoulders. The people who our folks know and love so dearly, their names have now become part of our collective breath. So I invite you to just take a sweet and gentle cleansing breath in again. Breathing in love, exhaling peace. For all that is our lives, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
Unto yourselves, be your own confidence. Hold to the truth within yourselves, as to the only lamp. Be ye lamps unto yourselves, be your own confidence. Hold to the truth within yourselves, as to the only lamp.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tara, for inviting me to share my story. Thank you, Matthew, for producing our service, and thank you all for welcoming me into your homes. These past 6 months have given me pause, have caused me to reflect on my life, my work, my relationships, my commitments, and my values, and ask the question, is this the life I want to live? Virtual service has been really difficult for me. I'm a social butterfly, as many of you know, who looks forward to shaking dozens of hands, giving and receiving warm hugs, engaging in deep conversations, and most importantly, feeling a sense of community. I'm sure that many of you can relate. It can be easy to dwell on the negative. It can be easy to feel overwhelmed. It can be easy to want to give up. A pandemic, two of the most polarized political parties in my lifetime, racial, social, economic, and environmental injustices percolating around the world. And yet, despite all of the negativity, the world is open. People seem to be more open to change than ever before. Businesses are adapting, communities are adapting, and groups of faith like ours are adapting. I made a commitment to myself during this time to create joy. It's the theme of the service today. To shift my focus, my energy, and my attention away from the negative and channel it to something positive. This isn't to say that I have my head buried in the sand. On the contrary, I am well aware of and engaged in the current events that are happening all around us. I just refuse to allow the noise, if you will, to overwhelm me. Instead, I wanted to share with you some of the ways that I am focusing on creating joy. I've been learning Spanish. I've been attempting to learn Spanish for years. I found that learning another language requires active, concentrated focus. Even with only 5 minutes a day, studying Spanish, like while I'm studying Spanish, I literally can't think about anything else. It stimulates my mind, it helps with focus, and as most bilingual people know, it actually gives me a better understanding of English because so many English words come from other languages, other roots. I've also been nourishing my body. I've been running a lot, exercising, and trying to feed myself with good food. I found that without a daily commute, I have freed up nearly an hour every day to dedicate to going for runs, training virtually with a friend, and cooking lots of tasty food. And thanks to the generosity of some of my friends, I've been tasting a lot. I've been receiving a lot of food, a lot of the fruits of their labor from food that they've grown. And I finally joined the waiting list for a community garden in my neighborhood so I can finally learn how to grow my own food because it tastes so much better. I've also been feeding my soul. I've been journaling and writing, not every day, but when I feel the need to get thoughts and feelings that are stuck in my head cleared out. For me, it's been a great way to help calm my mind. And along those lines, I have also been focusing on maintaining meaningful relationships with friends and family. Whether it's a walk through the neighborhood, a phone call, or a video chat, maintaining connections with other people has been really important and helped just keep that sense of community through all of this. In essence, I'm investing in myself. I'd be lying to you if I said the journey wasn't without challenges. It's so easy to justify sitting on the couch, binge watching Netflix, ordering takeout. And if I'm being honest, I may or may not have watched the entire season of Indian matchmaking on Netflix very, very quickly. Creating joy takes work. It's a conscious effort to take action, to be proactive, to constantly be pushing forward. And like I said previously, sometimes the last thing I want to do is take that action, and that's okay too, so long as I just continue to move forward, to push through little by little, step by step, sometimes just day by day. It's been a few years now since I joined the Troop community, and I joined because I was looking for community in real life. And of course, there's irony now because we're in a virtual community, a virtual connection. But I found that just people in my community online, in different groups, people who shared my values. It was the Pasadena Vegan Group, the environmental action with the Pasadena City Council on banning styrofoam, and all these social and political issues. And one thing that all of those people had in common, or a lot of those people had in common, is they found Troop to be their weekly sanctuary for that real in-person connection. So that's why I found the community, and that's why I continue to stay with the community in spite of how hard it is for me to be looking in a camera right now instead of being in person, feeling everyone's presence. So what I want to leave with everyone, which is something I've really had to focus on, is that if I were to sit around and wait for the world to get better, for the political party to change, for the vaccine to arrive, I might find myself waiting a really long time. I'm a firm believer that every day has the potential to be New Year's Day. Every day is an opportunity to transform my life, to work on myself, to help shape the community that I live in. Really, it's an opportunity to transform the world. I'd like to leave you all with some words from Robert Frost from his poem, A Servant to Servants. It's rest that I want, there I have set it out, from cooking meals for hired people and washing dishes after them, from doing things over and over that just won't stay done. By good rights, I ought not to have so much put on me, but there seems to be no other way. They say one steady pull more ought to do it. They say the best way out is always through. And I agree with that, or insofar as that I can see no way out but through. Thank you.
With kindness let our days be long, and give us strength to right the wrong. We side with love, our hands unfurled, that we may go love the world. Through more than words we seek out truth. Support for peace our actions prove. We side with justice, minds unfurled, that we may go love the world. We strive to value all of earth, and help each other find their worth. Side with compassion, hearts unfurled, that we may go love the world.
Jonathan, thank you so much. It does, I think, take some courage and vulnerability to put yourself out there staring at a video. I hope that you're able to take a minute and see the affirmations and thank you and the love in the chat box. Of course, if we were together, people would be reaching out for those hugs that you talked about in your reflection. Thank you all so much for the ways that you've continued to support Troop during these trying times. You have supported it with your time and your talent and your treasure. It makes a huge difference when you show up here on Sunday, not just for me, but for your other beloveds who are here and who are really longing to see your face and see your words in the chat box and to hear your words before and after the service. So for those of you who have the resources to share, financial resources, we ask that you continue to give. You can donate online. You can text to give. You can send in a check. This coming Saturday, For those who feel comfortable doing so, Liz and I are trying an experiment, and it's a modified water communion ritual that we are gonna have some timed entries for next Saturday on the Troop back patio. It will require an RSVP, and we will be following safety protocols like masks the whole time and keeping distance from each other on the back patio. I'm going to put a link, and for those of you who feel like you would be able and want to participate in something like that, we'll be also capturing video, and we'll be editing that along with some still pictures for our water communion service that we'll have on September, I think it's the 13th. And for those of you who aren't able to do anything in person right now, we will be asking you to send in a photo of you either holding water in some way that holds a spiritual significance for you, or even a photo of you with that body of water. I keep going like this because I'm imagining a waterfall behind me. Are you near the arroyo or the ocean? Or somebody said their garden hose because they love watering their garden in the summer. So again, the link to sign up for timed entry is in the chat box. For this morning, I'd like to thank some of our volunteers. Gina for sharing chalice lighting words, thank you. Lynn Sexton for being our chat box greeter. Adriana for the beautiful video you created, thank you so much. Jonathan Levy for the reflection. And then the anthem we just heard, based on poetry by Casa Foot Racer and music written by Chris Maldonado. And thank you all so much for the many ways you continue to hold our community together. Now let's say our collective thanks for the morning offering. And you can unmute yourself for this. For the
ministries of the church and our community, we bless our offering with love and hope.
And while this is our kind of biggest online gathering that we have during the week, we have other ways for you to connect in smaller online groups. And we hope that you will find ways to do that, to continue to build up your connections. And just to have the reminder that even though you may be at home, you're certainly not all alone in this world. If you lit a chalice at the beginning of the service, I invite you to bring it forward and extinguish its light. But knowing always that we carry that flame with us into all that we do. And for all that is your life, I hope you embrace it this week with joy and intention. I hope you move out into the world with just courage and strength, knowing that there is a love holding you. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen. And blessed be.